All right, we now have part two of our three-gun shotgun project here. Last time was the intro, and we went over the installation of our lifter gate here, or speed loader, smoothing out the gate, preventing thumb bite here. Today, what we're going to be going over is the quick install of the magnet for the +1 unloaded start magnet here. I'm just gonna bring the bolt back. We got our chamber flag, right? We are clear. Just gonna leave that there. Lifter, you might see a little wear on there. Got some practice in, getting a little better there. Still got to do the forend here, smoothing that out to get those quad loads. But that's coming soon. So that worked really well. I was really happy with how this worked. So now let's move on to the next low-hanging fruit, the easy thing to do, installing that magnet right here. So going over what we're going to need real quick. Most of it's in frame. I've got my fancy epoxy mixing plate, a little piece of paper towel, some rubbing alcohol, some Gorilla Glue epoxy, clear, sets in 5 minutes. And then again, these super magnets. Okay, you get 6 in the package. It was like $3. You only need one of them. These are, I think, a ½ inch, a little less than ½ inch diameter. They hold plenty strong, and you're not running around the stage with the +1 shotgun shell on there. It's only, this technique is only used at the start. Again, just search real quick. Keith Garcia, +1 shotgun load, any combination of those words, you will find his demo on how effective that really is. I'll show it a little bit when we're done here too. So I just separated out one magnet. I'm just going to clean the trigger guard area really quickly with some alcohol. Again, just removing any traces of oils, be it your own human skin oils, gun oil, dirt and debris, just really giving that epoxy the perfect bonding surface. Again, with the alcohol, it evaporates very quickly, so I'm just scrubbing this down, that little area where this is going to go. Also, I always make sure I kind of clean my fingertips when I'm doing something like that. Get my, like I said, those oils off my fingertips. You may have noticed in the lifter gate, the speed loader video, I was touching this after I cleaned it, but my fingers were already dried and cleaned up by the alcohol, and this has adhered and stayed on there perfectly well. All right, I got the magnet here. This is still evaporating, no big deal, but we can again see basically where we're gonna put it. Right there. Very simple. It even, this is metal. It sticks right to it by itself, but not strong enough to keep the shotgun shell on there too. Okay, so we're going to break and we're going to go into time lapse. It's going to be super fancy. Check. All right, after that super exciting epoxy mixing footage, just get nice even layers. Even hardener and resin. You really rarely need as much as you actually mix, as you notice the hardened puddles of JB Weld and other epoxies there. I just use a shish kebab skewer, disposable, don't really worry about it. Really now, again, my finger is clean, just wiping away any last little dust. I'm actually going to apply it to the magnet. I want this to be a nice clean install. Don't really want a lot gooping out over the sides. Some squeeze out is always inevitable. All right, we can see it's already starting to set up. holding in place pretty well. And that is how you epoxy a magnet on your trigger guard. Again, very easy. Nothing to write home about, but just still wanted to make sure to see how easy that was and how to go about that. So we're going to let this set for 5 minutes, probably a little bit longer, and we'll come back and check how it works. Alright, the epoxy is all set up. It's still a little tacky if I touch the squeeze out on the edges, but it definitely holds in place. I already tested it. So again, we've got our dummy round. You know, not live, remember. Boop, right on there. So you can see how this works at an unloaded start. You've got that shell, extra one shell just stuck on there. You could be using strong hand or weak hand loading and just start off just sweeping that shell off the magnet. Oops. Now we're gonna do this right. Bolt has to be forward. Sweeping that shell off the magnet and just makes its way right into the loading port. Super easy. Just again, look up those videos of Keith Garcia doing this. It's incredible how fast he is with a quad load following it up. He'll grab 2 off his belt, sweep that shell off, load that one, load 2 more, and load 2 more in, it seems like, half a second. But it's wild. Obviously, it takes a lot of practice. But so that's part 2, that low-hanging fruit, easy installation with some epoxy, with just that little magnet. I'll just show those magnets again so you can find them at Home Depot. Just, you know, check online what aisle they're in, take a picture. You can grab those. Again, it was less than $4 for the pack of 6. So those are easy. Whatever epoxy you have. I just grabbed a new thing of Gorilla Glue while I was at it. Again, here's just that. Just normal clear epoxy, 5-minute epoxy, 2-part epoxy. That's it. Simple. All right, part 3, whenever that happens, is going to be more about the forend, getting this forend ready here, sanded down and tightened up. So that's part 3 coming up whenever it comes up, but you'll see it here. All right, again, like, share, subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching and have a good rest of your day.